The classroom was unlike any other in the galaxy. Transparent walls showed stars and distant planets as the ship glided silently through hyperspace. Alien students of all shapes and sizes filled the room, tentacles, scales, wings, and many limbs jostling for space. They chattered nervously among themselves, exchanging data pads and gestures, their voices a mix of clicks, hums, and whistles. At the front of the room, a tall insect-like instructor tapped on a holographic display. "Today's lesson is practical," the instructor announced, its voice resonating in the room with a strange echo. "We are introducing a live predator from a jungle-class world. Observe its instincts. Learn its behavior. Survival is your goal." The students froze. In their holo lectures, predators were always distant, studied, predictable. But seeing one live in the same room, that was terrifying. The instructor activated a containment field in the center of the classroom. A low hum filled the air as a shimmering barrier appeared. Inside, a creature unlike anything most students had seen before prowled. It was large, muscular, with a body built for speed and strength. Its fur shimmered dark green in the artificial light, blending almost perfectly with the simulated jungle environment inside the field. Its eyes glowed amber, intelligent and calculating. It sniffed the air, growled low, and flexed claws sharp enough to tear through steel. The room went silent. Whispers passed through alien students like electricity. "Is it safe?" One whispered in a melodic tone. Another hissed, "I thought the containment was unbreakable." Kale, the human Deathworlder, sat quietly in the back. Unlike most humans in the galaxy, Kale did not flinch. He had grown up on Glastor 9, a planet where survival was not taught in classrooms but enforced by daily life. Predators bigger than his village's buildings roamed freely. Every day was a test. Every day he survived. He crossed his arms, watching the predator pace. The alien students kept their distance, holding scanners, energy nets, and shields at the ready. The predator roared, a sound that shook the classroom walls and made several students stumble backward. The instructor's antennae twitched. "Observe, but do not touch. Your goal is understanding. Survival first, curiosity second." The aliens flinched at the roar, but Kale's expression remained calm. He tilted his head slightly, studying the predator's movement. Its muscles rippled under its fur as it circled the containment field. Its head was high, nostrils flaring, eyes scanning for weakness or opportunity. Kale leaned forward. He could feel the predator's tension, almost as if it were a living equation of instincts and reflexes. On Glastor 9, he had learned to read such creatures the moment they locked eyes with him. Humans might be small compared to some species, but evolution had gifted him intuition, patience, and confidence. The predator suddenly stopped. Its gaze fixed on him. The other students gasped. They had never seen this. The predator had ignored the scanners, the shields, and the noises. Its focus was on Kale alone. "Interesting," the instructor muttered, more to itself than the class. "The human shows." "Calm." Kale slowly stood. He did not rush. He did not raise his arms or make sudden movements. He stepped toward the containment field with deliberate, measured steps. His eyes never left the predators. The room seemed to hold its breath. The predator growled again, low and threatening, yet it did not charge. Kyle crouched slightly, tilting his head, using a posture he had learned from watching jungle predators. In his youth, he had mirrored the movements of the giant claw beasts on Glastor 9 to survive. Instinctually, he knew how to show that he was not a threat, but he also radiated confidence that he could handle danger if needed. Slowly, the predator shifted closer, sniffing the air. Kale spoke softly, though none of the aliens could understand his words. To him, it was instinctual, soft, controlled tones that conveyed calm and respect. The predator froze, listening. Its tail flicked. Its ears twitched. Then, almost imperceptibly, it took a step closer to him. Whispers erupted in the classroom. "It's approaching him?" One alien student gasped. Another muttered, "Humans, they really are something else." Kyle extended a hand, open and flat, palm toward the predator, a gesture of peace, of respect. The predator sniffed, hesitated, then nudged Kale's hand with its snout. A ripple of astonishment passed through the room. The predator's aggressive posture softened. Its low growl turned into a rumble that sounded almost like contentment. The instructor's mandibles clicked in surprise. "Remarkable," it said, its voice barely audible. "The human communicates, Not with tools, not with shields, not with weapons, but with instinct. Kyle straightened, smiling faintly. It's not a weapon, he said simply. It's a creature. Respect it and it will respect you. Some of the students, still shaking, lowered their shields. The predator stepped closer, circling Kale calmly, sniffing and nudging. Kale did not flinch. He had learned to remain steady even when death was a step away. Every movement, every breath mattered. Suddenly, one of the alien students tried to approach with a scanner. The predator's ears twitched. It growled, a warning low in its throat. Kale raised a hand, signaling caution. The student froze. The predator stepped back slightly, its attention returning entirely to Kale. The instructor raised an antenna. Note the interaction. Observe the human instincts in action. Many of your species rely on technology. The human relies on perception, on understanding, on respect for life. That is the key to survival in hostile environments. Hours passed as Kale demonstrated the predator's reactions to different movements, sounds, and tones. The alien student scribbled notes furiously, hardly daring to breathe. Every step Kale took was precise, every gesture deliberate. The predator followed his cues, responding to body language and tone rather than commands or devices. By the end of the class, the predator had become calm, almost docile in Kale's presence. It no longer paced aggressively. It lay down, eyes half closed, trusting the human. The alien students were silent in awe. They had studied predators in theory, but seeing one respond to instinct, to understanding rather than fear or weapons, was beyond anything they had imagined. The instructor turned to the class. Take note. Human evolution has honed more than technology or strength. Instinct, intuition, patience, these are weapons too. Remember this lesson. Survival is more than shields and gadgets. It is understanding. It is respect. Kale collected his belongings calmly, casting one last glance at the predator. It sniffed him once more, then settled back. He left the containment area with the ease of someone who had done this hundreds of times before. The alien students whispered among themselves. How does one human survive worlds we cannot even enter? One asked. Another replied, it's instinct. They read danger like we read data streams. As the classroom emptied, Kyle walked toward the observation deck, gazing at the stars. On Glaster 9, he had survived storms that shredded metal and predators that could swallow him whole. Yet here, in a galaxy filled with beings smarter, faster, and more dangerous than any on his homeworld, his instincts remained his greatest strength. Somewhere in the silence, the predator rumbled softly. Kyle looked back briefly and smiled. Respect had been earned. Trust had been built. And as always, he had survived where others doubted it was possible. The galaxy had learned something new today. Humans were not fragile. They were not weak. They thrived. And when a Deathworlder stepped into a classroom, even the fiercest predators took notice. The lesson was clear, and it echoed across species, whispered from one student to another, and recorded in every memory chip. Humans were not to be underestimated.